I'm Ron Patterson with Utah State University Extension in Carbon County. It's early spring and time to plant peas. Peas are a cold-loving crop that they'll start germinating when the soil temperatures are about 40 to 45 degrees. A little warmer temperatures actually they'll germinate better, but they'll start at about 40-45 degrees. So as soon as you can work the soil in the spring, it's time to get going with the peas, so we'll show you how to do it. Some of the tools we'll use, of course you can use just a regular hoe. I have this furrowing hoe. I also have this wheel hoe that has a furrowing attachment to it that we'll show how we use these types of tools to make our furrow and get our peas planted. Now if all you have is a regular hoe, you just dig in the corner like that. Peas you want to plant about an inch. You can go 1 to 2 inches deep. If you've got this furrowing hoe, it's kind of handy. Just make a furrow. Again, you want it now. This last year we've had a fair amount of moisture this last winter, so we've got some moisture in the soil. We could plant the peas and just let it go at that, but I'm going to do a little bit of watering in just to be safe, because we're in dry and you don't know what the spring is going to do. So we'll show you how to do this wheel hoe, and then we'll get some water into these furrows. Okay, the furrow with this wheel hoe, basically all you're just going to do is push it along like that. I'm not going to make too long of rows with these tools. This hose end soaker I use is just basically something to keep the water from gushing out of the end of the hose and washing the soil away. It's got an adjustment on the end of it so I can run it fast, heavy flow, or a light flow on there. Just a little tool that kind of makes it easier when you're trying to water things up in the springtime. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and just drop these into this moist furrow about 2 inches apart. Now peas, they tolerate the cold, but they don't tolerate the heat. So when it gets hot in the summer, you want to be done with your peas really. The peas can be up until about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. They'll do okay. It starts getting hotter than 80 degrees. They don't like to blossom and do very well that way. So you want to get your peas up and going. Now you can also have problems by planting them too early. If your blossoms get frozen, but typically if we plant mid to late March in the high desert country of Utah, then we will get our peas up and get good blossoms on them and have a good yield. Another way to think about doing peas is to plant them in middle of July and get a fall crop out of them. You can get peas to come up in the fall, and you don't have to worry about it getting hotter all the time. It's getting cooler, so they'll do quite well. So the peas can be planted early spring, or planted about mid-July for a second crop. So you could actually, in reality, plant them early spring, get them to come up and flower, and then by about early July, the mature plants stop doing as well, so you could take them out the end of July, or the early to middle July, and then replant another crop of peas so that you've got a double crop going, and you'll have peas again in the fall. So I've got this row planted. Show you how we cover those up, and then we'll have some peas ready to come up. So now as I cover these peas, I'll cover with about 1 to 2 inches of soil. The rule of thumb, of course, is about 4 times the diameter of the seed. The double rows are about 4 to 6 inches apart. The reason to do the double rows is peas will tolerate the wind a lot better. If you put those in the double rows, they do better than the single row on the peas. So I'll tamp these down now so that we've got good soil contact with the seed. And in about 1 to 2 weeks, should have peas coming up and have a nice crop of peas in the early to mid-summer. So there you have it, just another way to have fun in your garden.